Right, so I'm just going to start straight off the bat by saying that this video is not politically motivated in any way. Uh, this is just kind of like me discussing the things slash people I don't really like. So let's get straight on into it. Number one on my list is slow walkers and eaters. Oh my god. I kind of understand it if you're old. You feel me? Like, I can kind of understand it, but people who sit there and continue to eat food like a solid 10 minutes after everyone's finished, like, I can't stand it. And I know people, they always say to me, they say, oh, well, I'm savouring the taste, I'm savouring it. I'm not being funny, but if you savour it any longer, you're going to fucking decompose, mate. Next on the topic of slow walkers, like, especially in big cities, like, it's the what people in big cities are known to walk faster, right? So if I've got a place to be, I don't want to be stuck behind somebody, especially when it's like single file and there's no other option. If you're a tight narrow space or a corridor and somebody's walking really slow, oh my, it grinds my gears so much you don't even believe it, man. Like, surely I can't be the only one that thinks this. Like, it's literally so painful when you need to be somewhere. You have to be somewhere, you know, and you're just held back by people who walk really slow. Like I said before, if you're old, I get it, but if you're like 25 and moving at a steady pace of 1.5 miles an hour, you're done. No, not having it. Next up on this god awful list is aloe vera. You can't tell me this actually exists, let alone actually does what it promises. Okay, aloe vera is a myth. It's a scam. All right, people have been pouring so much money into these companies to deal with sunburn or to help their skin or to make something smell better. Aloe vera is just gel. That's all it is. It does nothing. Right, if you go out of your way to buy products that specifically have aloe vera in them, I hate to break it to you, you could say this is just me being a nutcase, but aloe vera is the biggest scam you've ever seen in your life. There's nothing quite like it. They get kind of like email scams or over the phone scams from, you know, continents miles away. This is completely different, and this is arguably one of the worst scams around. Aloe vera is a myth. I don't believe in it. And if you can convince me otherwise and show me evidence, feel free to prove me wrong. Aloe vera doesn't do anything. Next up, we've got Extinction Rebellion and Gillette Britain. Not necessarily that their movements, as in what they stand for, is a bad thing, but the way they executed it is horrific. Like the way they block up, they blocked up the M25. They, stand on top of train carriages. It's ridiculous. It's getting in the way of people's genuine lives, and it annoys me that you're stopping them from, just like being able to do what they want to do solely because you have a message and you want everyone to hear about it. I know that climate change exists. I know that we have inadequate insulation across half of the country. You don't need to block the M25 to tell me that that's the case. I believe in peaceful protest. I think peaceful protest is a good thing. I actually do encourage it in some instances. I think it's one of the best ways. If you have a march of, a few thousand people, that sets the kind of image a lot better than if you block up a motorway or just any kind of road, because like I said, people have places to be, and by doing that you could end up killing someone. What if somebody's having a heart attack at the wheel or something? They can't get to hospital, so all of that stuff that annoys me a lot. And another group of people that I don't particularly like solely because of that reason. I have a dislike for Manchester City Football Club. They have no history and they're built on oil. I also can't stand like stupid little independent filmmakers who have like a small subscribe account who try to make funny videos and, fail horribly at that, and they try to make themselves this, kind of personality on the screen and try to make people laugh and everything in between, and the fact that they actually think that they're doing well, but in reality their views are plummeting and there's no interest in their stuff anymore. And I think that making documentaries on like Greg's is like a good thing, but like, to be honest with you, it's actually an appalling attempt at comedy and entertainment. And personally, I hate people like that. No, sorry. Up next is anti-vaxxers, and I think this one goes without saying. Most of the arguments that anti-vaxxers pose and put forward for the reason that they don't get jabs is completely baseless, and it's actually based off of information that's either been proved wrong in the process of being proved wrong, or just complete bollocks. So yeah, I dislike them a lot. They annoy me. And I think they annoy most people, most common people, just trying to get on with life. Especially with COVID-19 and stuff like that. People who don't get vaccinated solely on the basis that they don't trust the vaccine or they can't be asked really annoy me. Like if you have a medical exemption, I get that. If it's a religious belief, I kind of understand it to an extent, but still, I don't believe that that's an adequate excuse to not get jabbed in a literal international emergency. Like, I get it if you pass up on like the flu jab or something, right? But this is completely different. This is whole new. This is a whole new ground. I don't think there's many reasonable excuses for not getting jabbed at this point because the same people who are anti-vax are the same people preaching for normality and being able to live life like we did before. Well, believe it or not, the only effective vehicle we can use to get to that position is vaccination, which are also standing against. So you need to make your mind up. Honestly, you're really confusing. I have a pretty strong dislike for ASMR videos. I know some people go crazy over them to an extent. I can understand why people like them, but I find them horrifying. I dislike them to a major extent. I feel like the sounds are supposed to give you tingles and make you feel better. I just ugh, they're unsettling. They're not harsh sounds. They are soft sounds usually, but it just gives me a creepy feeling like somebody's breathing down my shoulder and whispering into my ear all the time. I don't like that. That kind of freaks me out. Politicians. Now, I think this one goes without saying, honestly. Politicians, like, I get that they're here to represent the country and I support democracy. I don't think Parliament is a flawed kind of concept and I think it works well to an extent. My problem with politics and politicians is that the people who address the nation publicly, like Big Man Bojo and all that, or Keir Starmer or whoever, a load of these big names, they make promises and they don't keep them. They just lie about things and they try to weave their way out of the important questions. Matt Hancock was perfect at it, you know, uh, and that really annoys me. It's just their lack of care and the worry that they're going to have their words held against them. I would appreciate an MP who just answers the questions much more than somebody who tries to dodge them to improve their image. Because to me, I see them as worse by doing that. Like my respect for them goes right down when they do that. Whereas if they're open and transparent, I'll trust them more. I don't think they have that one quite nailed down, and I think that's something that MPs really need to work on, man. And my voice cracked, Jesus Christ. And lastly, you could call this personal, but I don't care. I hate Penelope Scott. She is talentless. Her music is terrible. And anyone who disagrees with that can unsubscribe straight away. It's just awful, awful music. A terrible artist. To be honest with you, there are hundreds of artists that could come on top of her easily. So yeah, Penelope Scott is useless as well. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.